to go back to be the OCP commander in 2016. When I came back, what they don't really tell you as the OCP commander is that you really come back jobless, right? So I thought, well, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring for all kinds of things. Who knows what will happen? And if not, I'll just come back and I'll take a staff job and I'll retire. Because I thought I was going to retire. Never in the world did I ever in a million years thought I'd get promoted to GO as an enlisted soldier. But I would say at that point I applied for command, and then I also applied for this FLO job, this emergency preparedness liaison job. And at first, I applied for both. The FLO job position, they sent me an email and said they filled it. And I thought, well, dang, okay, maybe I'll get command. No, I don't know what I'll do. Great. And I would say, so there were some challenges there with that. And then they came back and said, oh, the guy who we gave the job to, he doesn't want it. Do you really want this job still? And I thought, I don't know if I'm second fiddle, but I'll take that job. Okay. So I took it. It was one of the best jobs I've had. But, and then probably a month later, the command board came out, and I had got selected for battalion command, and I'd already been brigade commander at OCP forward, and I was like, gosh, what do I do? So I called a one-star and said, hey, I need some mentorship because you have to sign my denial of command. And I want to know if I'm going to get with, what do you call it? They call it with prejudice, thank you, or not. And I said, I've done all these things and I really got this neat job. And I already said yes to the emergency preparedness liaison job. And now it would be really bad for me to go back and say no to them after I said I was going to take this job. And that person gave me advice to actually turn the command down. And they, thankfully, the one-star or two-star who decided that in the 807 gave me out of that job without prejudice. And I'm thankful about that. But I would say that was probably one of the hardest things because I thought, oh my gosh, my career's done. And it's okay. I thought major was going to be my retiring rank because I thought as an enlisted, I was an E3. All I saw were captains, and I just wanted to be a major before I retired. And so for me, it was icing on the cake, and then I took that job. But I would say I always reach out to people when I'm trying to make decisions for some of that kind of stuff to get feedback of the pros and cons for doing that. Like I knew I was going to potentially could have done it without prejudice. They just thankfully let me out of it. That doesn't always happen. I was just thankful someone allowed me to do that. And it was probably the best thing because I got to play during Hurricane Maria and Harvey doing FEMA stuff at FEMA headquarters, which I never thought would ever happen in this renovation assignment. So it gave me different opportunities. So I would say find some people and get some advice from people. Really write it down. What does that look like for you? Because I had to, because I was a little concerned at that point. So does that help you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
There's a couple questions in the back that get right in the center.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon. I have two comments and then two questions, if I may. Lieutenant Colonel Williams, Army Futures Command, underneath CDS. My first comment is because you guys touched on APDE. I just want to let the group know that the APDE NILFA message came out last night. So make sure you guys are looking at those actual opportunities to take some additional courses. And then secondly, the 05 Lieutenant Colonel calendar year command board, the board files closed on the 14th of June. That's Tuesday. So if you're looking for command opportunities, that board file closes on Tuesday.
Just say yes.
Yes, just say yes. My question, because you guys mentioned command, have you received any feedback from the field as to why not enough officers are opting in for command? And what are we to do to get after that as leaders, future upcoming leaders?
I would say some of it, yes. Some of the things that I understand, and then if anybody here thinks I'm wrong and add things and whatever to you, is, first of all, some people don't want to plan, and I get that too. As General Crosland talked this morning, some people want to stay in the professional world, other people want leadership opportunities. I was on the initial working group to make people opt out of a promotion, off a command board, because I think people just didn't realize what that looked like for them, and from a promotion standpoint, it's good to take a leadership position. We've talked about that. Some of it is people feel like it takes too much time and that you have to do additional time outside of work to be a commander, and it does. So there's a commitment that has to be there, and oftentimes those are hours that you are thankless or hours you don't get paid for, and may hinder your civilian career potentially if you do it. So that's one of the things that we got feedback from, at least at USARC, about that when we initially put that out, which we knew there was some risk with that, right? We did some surveys also of the people who opted out to find find out what their reasons for. Some was a family time commitment that they didn't want to have to take away from family time to